Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to this Care Managers Inner Circle live at 8. It's been been quite a time since I did one of these, but it's good to be back. The reason tonight that I felt that I need to come on was that we just had a day at the UK Care Week. There we go, at the NEC. A superb exhibition actually. And post-COVID, although COVID is still rising, actually, it's still around. It was a good opportunity just to go out. It's one of the first few events in a long time that I actually wasn't speaking, so I'd actually go around. I could listen to some amazing speakers. I could see some stands and just catch up and do some networking. And so it's great to see Raynor, Adam Purnell, Mark Tops, Daniel Kaysen. And as well as many others, and I just wanted to give you a bit of an update on some of the things. And so this was just really some of my notes. Also, Terroni from the Care Quality Commission heard her speak as well. So I just wanted to give you a quick download, very quick in terms of what's current, what's on vogue. What's in vogue, and also some obviously the challenges that we all know that are currently facing the whole sector. The event was kicked off really with Adam Purnell, who pulled together a fabulous panel, and it was great. It was free flowing. He was talking about the challenges that we're facing in terms of staffing, etc. And there's no great change, but these are some of the bullet points that I took. First, in no particular order, menopause management. I think recognising the majority of our workforce is female, and that ageing sector of our workforce is also getting older. There aren't as many new people coming into the sector regressively, and so menopause management is something that I think we all need to deal with, and have a plan in place to be able to support all of our female workforce. Reinvestment in workforce in terms of reward and well-being. So it's not just numerical, but certainly I think for most carers, money is important, and of course that's making sure that they feel justly and suitably rewarded, remunerated is important. Investing in the culture of an organisation, almost like the sticking glue for an organisation. People aren't always going to move just for 10 pence or 20 pence. If the culture is negative, then of course they're more inclined to be looking for, and they will jump ship for, a possible increase. Just a recognition that social care workforce is larger than the NHS, and there's also now so many different roles available in social care. It's not just you go in caring, wiping bums. There is such a vast variety of social care jobs, and of course they're getting increasingly technical, from backroom in terms of administration all the way through to front of house, managers, registered managers, etc. So it isn't just, there's a huge diversity now, and there generally is career progression in social care. We've all got a job to champion social care. Adam spoke about the future unionisation of social care being potentially a good thing, and giving the workforce more rights and more awareness of those rights. He spoke about sexifying the sector. He spoke about other sectors. The NHS has got sort of Holby City and ER. Well, what has social care got when it comes to we've got to be able to make it more exciting, and also some of the advantages of working in that sector. He sort of recognised that most people sort of reach out to care, particularly in the home environment, way past the point they actually need it. So reaching out to families, reaching out to communities, just to educate them and make them aware of our services and social care before they actually genuinely need it and reach crisis point. Let's talk about sending videos to candidates about jobs. This is now another speaker who came on about this, about sharing your heart. So don't just do a video, or don't just do a job advert, but you're actually putting videos out to candidates about the job, and be realistic about the job, not always just completely sugarcoating it, but when they come into the sector or that particular job role itself, it's a bit of a sort of a sharp awakening. You've got to be realistic. and again, this will reduce your no-shows. Spoke about virtual receptionists, mystery shoppers coming into your home and organisations. And we also looked at connectivity. Digitisation was a huge thing, something which is hugely, very much close to my heart. Where we're using personal centre software. We've got it integrated with Atlas system, and also just want to keep with the digitisation. I certainly met the team there, the DSPT team, digitisation team, social care, and they were a great team. We're getting some resources from them, but also we looked at acoustic monitoring. And that's something I'm looking to roll out potentially at Birkdale Park, and certainly exploring that. So that was a good company just to have a look at that. And that, of course, bolts into personal centre software in this particular case. In sticking with jobs, we've got to widen our talent funnel, not just keep it restricted to people that we think might be interested. There's a huge variety, and certainly an example was given that someone in home care recently went to a car boot sale because the type of individuals were probably sort of semi-retired, and they were looking for the sort of people that might sort of frequent a car boot sale. And then he got a number of inquiries, a number of leads from attending and flyering a car boot sale. So it just shows you sort of thinking outside the box. Always make sure and you articulate what's in it for your candidates and your potential staff coming into your organisation. Establish some metrics about your recruiting, so you can actually measure your effectiveness over time. And of course, amazing onboarding as an induction, etc., that really sort of blows them away and makes them feel welcome from the start. We then had Kate Terroni from the Care Quality Commission. She spoke about the changes in inspection. They're still going to keep their 4 pillars, which were sort of articulated last year in terms of the 4 pillars of strategy, focusing on impacts on individuals, links with communities, smarter inspection and assessment, safety through learning, and particularly sort of medication errors was something that she's specifically mentioned. There's going to be a single assessment framework. They're still going to retain the 5 key lines of inquiry, but there's going to be a more simple means of assessment framework. More things that are going to be done remotely. Again, if you're in a digitised home, that's going to be so much more easier than those homes that are still very much paper-based. It's focusing on the likes of no rocket science to this. It's very much back to basics. Just spoke about making sure people have got suitable choice. Thinking local, act personal. The 70 pages of previous prompts, they're going to be removed, but will be replaced with what they expect. What does good look like? The 6 evidence categories, the likes of staff, residents, information from others, observations, etc. And there's a few more. A single assessment methodology is going to kick in April next year. And the Health and Social Care Act has been modified to reflect that. Obviously, now we've got the rollout as well of the integrated commissioning boards, integrated care boards. And again, that sort of kicks in. They're going to be inspected from April next year. Again, focusing on leadership, the integration, the quality and safety, and how they're effectively supporting the providers in care homes, home care, etc. 4 priorities: how the local authorities are going to work with people and support people in terms of commissioning, the quality of their commissioning, the provider support to care homes, home care, etc. How effectively are local authorities or the ICB boards going to be providing that support to providers. Ensuring also what do they do to ensure safety and support safety, sort of safeguardings, etc., and the follow-up investigation of that, and also leadership and workforce, and what sort of systems they have in place should a provider sort of be struggling in order to go in and safeguard and assist them. She spoke about the emergency safeguarding frameworks, which was during the pandemic, and how effective they, in terms of the different approach, more of a supportive approach, and they'd like to carry some of that supporting approach back on into a sort of almost like a post-pandemic. I know it's not post-pandemic, but in this sort of current climate now. They're still very much risk-based. They're focusing on requires improvement and inadequates, but they will re-rate providers, particularly if your requires improvement, if you're sitting on and you can release capacity if you get graded good. So inspectors are now being told to go out and regrade at every opportunity if they happen to come on site. But very much it still remains risk-based. Oral care and sexual relationships and supporting sexual relationships is again the big hot topic, and making sure that there is an oral care plan. We spoke about getting the basics right, making sure that people have got informed choice, and that choice is being evidenced. That it must always be personal centred. I know it's always the old sort of throwaway lines, but it must be personal centred. Promoting sexual relations and oral care. I mentioned that. Smiling Matters, which is one of the publications you might recall from a few years ago. Well, they're going back to that, and also making sure that every resident has got an oral health care plan. Also, culturally appropriate care. They're looking for a care plan for that for each of your residents. We then went on to Vic Raynor, who's a fantastic speaker. My goodness, absolutely superb. And these are just some of the things. I mean, she was here to speak about very much the political aspect, the strategic aspect of social care at the moment, and of course in today, which has just been an absolutely chaotic, bewildering day politically. We spoke about Steve Barclay, just the new Health and Social Care Minister. Well, he is for the next 10 minutes, and we'll see who probably replace Boris Johnson. We spoke about a missed decade of social care reform, ageing population, growing funding gap, integration reform of the ICS, very much the ICS, the integrated care system, as the new kid on the block, increasing personalisation, innovation and technology, and digital reform agenda. And also, still within a COVID backdrop, many acute trusts, by the way, are now going back to masks back on, particularly in the last sort of 24 hours. We still got 150,000 vacancies in health and social care. We've got an ageing workforce, 25% in social care are over 55 to 60. Social care wages falling behind other sectors. Working age population is now reduced to 1 in 6. So the reduced working age population is now reduced to 1 in 6 of people who are 65 plus, which is absolutely staggering, phenomenal. Again, going back to the whole sort of supporting women in menopause, because the vast majority of them are female. Shrinking, therefore, workforce, but increasing demand. People at very much the heart. So a new white paper, Heart of Care white paper, was also drafted, and regrettably nothing about the nature of the workforce in the paper. The new People Plan, which of course has been launched and very much promoted by Adam in the last few months. And then spoke about previous appointment or declarations to Let's Fix Social Care by Boris Johnson. The theory is that all might now be sort of thrown out. So in summary, so a number of sort of takeaways there. I thought it was an excellent day, and certainly it is worth going along to these shows. You get sort of ideas just sitting there. It is sheer escapism because your phone isn't going, someone isn't coming in your office telling you that the power's just gone down in one of the rooms, or someone's just called in sick. You do have the opportunity to go there, immerse yourself in all things sort of social care. You hear some excellent speakers, and also as an opportunity to just catch up with other people in the sector. And I've got to say, I've come away with a lot of new ideas, some just reinforced, and it's good to sort of reintegrate again back into sort of social care and back into that sort of world. But lots of takeaways. So there you go, folks. I hope that it's probably bored you senseless, but I hope you're all well. Look after each other, and see you all very soon.